everybody.
Hey, I'm Ricky.
And I'm Nova.
And you've tuned in to Marriaging, and it's your lucky night.
It is because you are going to have fun.
Yes, that's true. But beyond just having fun, it's January 22nd, which means
you've already messed up your New Year's resolution. So we're starting over. Woo!
the night you get a do-over, a mulligan,
Yes.
a clean slate. Yeah, we're going to count down to 10, and then it's New Year's Eve all over again. And you get to start your New Year's resolution that you broke 2 weeks ago again tonight. So 10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
Congratulations! Is that good?
Yeah.
You and me, we got this. Gonna take some practice. Superpower oneness. We are marriaging.
Wonder Twin Powers activate.
We are marriaging.
You have stuff in your teeth. I know.
How bad?
Down here. Nope, that way. Yep. Honesty.
Today we're talking about honesty.
Hey everybody, we're back.
Hey, I'm Nova.
And I'm Ricky.
And we are pretty excited to be with you here at Marriaging, where we create atmospheres and change environments, and we activate our oneness
Superpower. And
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with what oneness superpower is, then you gotta watch the Wonder Twins.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. It's a cartoon from the 80s.
Yes. So 2021, we're here.
Here we are.
Here we are.
And everything's perfect.
It's like so perfect. Nothing's ever, it's perfect. So it doesn't, basically turn this off.
Well, we know this year kind of started out rough, just like last year, but not as bad, I guess.
Not as bad.
Uh-huh.
I think I know some of the ways that we feel like we can move into 2021 is when we have some visions, some things that we can like keep as our this is what we come back to. And so we want to talk about that tonight. Talk about those words and those things that bring us back to this is what we want. Let's come back to that.
It's really important. Actually, in the Bible, it says, without
vision,
people perish.
people perish.
The wisest man who ever lived wrote that.
Yeah. And I think without vision, our marriages kind of get weak sauce.
They do.
Our families, our children, if they don't know what we're about, if we can't come back to some of the pillars, some of the things that we believe, and then the dreams and the visions that we have for this year. And some of you may be going, well, I started out with dreams and visions last year, and that was last year. And yay. But we did celebrate a lot of things last year too,
That's
right? And we did talk about that. But moving into this new year, I think, we are starting fresh and new. And so we want to be able to encourage you and help you celebrate and look for the vision for your marriage and for your family. And if you don't have kids, your future kids. But what kind of foundation are you laying, and what are the things that you can come back to for your family?
Yeah, we have this tradition, and we want to do it. We want to practice it here tonight with you all, and then we want to encourage you to go shut this off and go do it yourself. And that's we always choose, and a lot of prayer goes into this and thought. We always choose a few words, and that sets the pace for a year, or it's our vision for the year. And it really sets us on the trajectory in which we want to go, and it becomes like a pillar or a foundation that we can always return to and assess, how are we doing? Are we on track, or have we gotten off track of what we really wanted to accomplish?
And part of me I always want really great, amazing words. And this year I feel like I got a word, and I feel like you got almost the exact same thing when we kind of came together and talked about it. And so our first word is consistent. That is not sexy. That is not a fun, yay, 2021, consistent. But
it's like the word your teacher gives you.
Yeah, I'm let's.
Your word for this year class is consistency.
I'm why? But I think here's my thought, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but I feel like when you are consistent in anything, you will see changes. You will see results.
Yeah.
If you aren't consistent, you won't. So if there are some things that you really want to see different in 2021, then it's consistency.
Yep.
And one of those things for me personally is making sure that the first thing that I'm consistent at is being in the Word.
Yeah.
So just be consistent with that. And it it's hard to be consistent.
Yeah, it is.
You know, to like stay the course, but there is so much that happens in those moments when you're consistent.
New Year's resolutions usually fail because of this word, because the consistency is what you just said is challenging. And the thing about it is this: it doesn't have to be these crazy, outrageous, outlandish, unreachable goals that you're consistent at. I would say this: if you did 20 sit-ups and 20 push-ups a day, and you just decide you're going to do that, it'll take you literally a minute and a half. In about a month, maybe 2 months, you'll start to see results. And 6 months from now,
Yeah.
you're going to be a different you.
Yeah. I'm consistently not taking creamer in my coffee. But, but honestly, I'm noticing even a difference in how I feel from not putting like a tablespoon or two, which sounds so weird. But that sugar, for me, like sugar just wrecks me. And so I have consistently not had creamer in my coffee since January 1st, and I'm already feeling better. Like everything feels better. My joints feel, everything feels better.
Yeah, so that's our first word, is consistent, and it's really just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're going to get good results.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you can consistently do other things too with
We
each
try
other.
to be as consistent as that as possible, right?
But I'm not saying the word, so whatever. The second word, I think, is courageous. And
That's a little bit more sexy.
yeah, it is. It's like you can kind of
courageous.
see our muscles through the camera with courageous. It's like,
Courageous. We just both did that.
oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Activating Twinist superpower wonders. Yeah.
You didn't do the thing. Oh, well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, courage can look different in whatever capacity. I mean, it has so many different faces. Courage can look like putting on a parachute and jumping out of a plane. And that takes a tremendous amount of courage if you've ever done that before. I never have.
I thought
I would
you
like
just
to
said
someday.
put on a pair of shoes and jump out of a plane. I was like, whoa, that's very courageous.
It's more courageous just to put shoes on.
It
I would
might-
recommend a parachute. Or it could be actually having a really uncomfortable conversation with somebody. Our daughter had a uncomfortable conversation, or a courageous, as we would call it, a courageous conversation, and she was really blessed by that conversation, the results of that. It looks very different, right? So the sexy courage is jumping out of an airplane with a parachute and a pair of shoes.
But just normal people courage.
But just courage in general can look like turning off the news and deciding you're gonna pray and ask the Lord to give you an opinion rather than finding your opinion on social media or on TV. That takes courage, right? It takes courage to formulate your own opinion, to have your own thoughts, and to make decisions. Every decision takes courage, right? If you're gonna decide to go to work today, it takes courage. And little bits of courage will continue to add into this massive ball of courage, and then you will become a courageous person.
I look at the courage of my daughter, our daughter, who gets in these crazy ways, and it's so inspiring, and she's so courageous.
Follow
and,
her on Instagram at Shiloh Page.
Oh my goodness. Okay. To just being courageous with things in your life. It doesn't have to be just doing these courageous things, but like, you know, if it takes courage for you to set a boundary with someone because you're a people pleaser or whatever, just doing things courageously, doing things even if you're afraid to do it, moving in it with courage and believing God for the result. I think the third thing was I was reading The Man Who Was Healed at the Beautiful Gate, the gate called Beautiful.
That's a story in the Bible, by the way. It's a great story. A man was crippled, and he was actually there at that pool. It was like a special pool where people would go, and crazy miracles would happen in this water, and they would be healed. So he went there to go in the water to be healed, but he couldn't get to the water because he was crippled.
Yeah.
So that's right.
Yeah, and so I'd heard somewhere, either I read it or I heard it, but it really kind of like clicked for me where there's a meaning for the name Beautiful Gate, which the word beautiful means at the right time. Like things happen, the gate is opened at the beautiful time, at the right time. God, does make all things beautiful in his time. So it's like the idea that putting that up on our little vision board and going, the beautiful gate. It's like whatever's supposed to open, it's supposed to open and be open at the right time.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel so encouraged. So when things maybe don't go my way this year or things change, I can think back on, I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to think about the beautiful gate, the right timing, and not to force things, but just to allow things to flow and to move and to really listen to the voice of God and the heart of God. And so those are our three kind of family, marriage, personal things. We're going to put those up like in different places in our house. Those words are going to be in a couple different places, so we can just kind of look at them and, you know, just ask even for like deeper meaning for those things for our marriage and our family, to be consistent and courageous and know that the timing that God has is perfect and things open up when they're supposed to.
So that becomes a vision board. And we want to encourage you. It's not too late. It's January 22nd. You can start over. Actually, it's January 1st for those of you that tuned in at the beginning of our program. And we want to just encourage you to get a vision board together. It can be 1 word, 2, 3. You can have more. I would recommend no more than 3. Probably, because it's a lot to kind of take in.
Or you can do a vision board with like pictures and whatnot, like of those things. So you can do it any way. But for me, like personally, I like just seeing the words and then like, you know, just thinking about those things. But you can do it however you want. Like this isn't like a thing that you have to do. It's just a way to get you talking. Like we always say, marriaging, people say like, you know, we're just struggling with communication. Well, we do marriaging because we want people to start talking. How do you talk about your dreams and your vision and the future without talking and going, okay, well, this is what I think. And so, and some of you, your word might be money because you've had all these struggles, and that's okay. It can be any way you really want to create something new for your family this year.
Because communication for married couples typically revolves around their jobs, their kids, the chores, what needs to get done, the to-do list. And there's not a lot of life in that sometimes because you're essentially probably doing a recap of the day, who got in trouble, who didn't eat their vegetables, who, you know, what chores need to get done this weekend. And we want, as Nova said, we want to try to plant some seeds and give you some options of communication pieces that you can practice and not be talking about your job, the kids, and the chores.
Things are different in our world, but maybe you sit, if you have kids and you can't get out or whatever, you're sitting in your bed and you're going, okay, this is our time to talk about this. And create a moment and a space and light a candle. Just create a space, create an atmosphere to have the conversation of what you want this year to look like. How you want to position your hearts towards each other. Yeah. You know, and I want to consistently love you. Like that's part of the consistency. And I still want to continue to have courageous conversations, you know, with you. I don't ever want to shy away from that. And I want whatever God has for us, I want it to be beautiful, which will be God's perfect timing. If things open up, you know, for us in that perfect way, and that's really is my desire, and I think that grows. And if you guys can sit down and really have that honest conversation, and some of you, like we always say, it might feel a little uncomfortable because you may not be used to really opening up your heart that way. Be courageous and take a chance and take an opportunity that your husband or your wife will take you up on this and come up with some vision for your family, for your marriage this year.
Yep, and you're welcome to R3, absolutely. So if you're the non-creative type and your palms are sweaty now because you're like, oh my gosh, I got a arts and craft project. Just take our 3 words and
last
see if they
year
fit
our
in.
words were abide, bless, and rest.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because
we got those in January. Before it even got real crazy.
Yeah, and we really were able to
do all those things.
Yeah.
And it was a bookmark where we mid-year even we said, hey, how are we doing with rest and abiding? And you know, so these become those assessment words. Like you're going to use these words to assess yourself and your spouse, your marriage, and your family, and in general. But we know God has great things for you this year. He has great things for us this year, and we don't want to miss that. We also know there's going to be challenges this year, there's challenges for us this year and challenges for you this year. And we just want to encourage you to keep tuning in on Friday nights because we're doing life together. We're marriaging, you're marriaging, and we want to do this marriaging thing with you all because we're not meant to be alone. That's why isolation is so challenging because that's not how God designed us or made us. We need to do this together. And if the way that we can be together is on the other end of that camera every Friday night, then we are happy to be together with you.
Yeah, we really are. And we're very thankful for those of you that reach out to us and just, cheer us on as we're trying to cheer you on to continue to love marriage and love the idea of not just marriage, but that the covenant that we share together. So we believe in you, we believe in marriage, and we believe that you can activate your oneness superpower and change the atmosphere in your home and really be creative this year in 2021.
It's going to be a great year, you guys.
It is.
Keep your heads up. Put a smile on your face. It's going to be a great year. We love you. And we will see you next week. Or you'll see us. We actually won't see you, but we know you're there. Bye, everybody. Shiloh, come say goodbye. She was watching our entire episode.
Even though she should have been reading. It's okay.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
There you go.